Okay, guys, can you hear me again? New feed, I'm sorry. Apologies. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I have no idea what's going on. I don't know if it's my connection or if it's the software or it's YouTube or it's the Tories or it's Donald Trump or what. 10cc adrenaline worked. Badge to show that they are care workers. Get the same rights as Ian. Thank you very much for that, Mac. Macs are better than PC. Macs are better than PCs. So they have to buy this badge so that they get treated as the same as NHS staff in supermarkets or in shops. But why isn't it just available to everyone who meets the criteria? Care workers, NHS, you know. Hamster's vital stable. I apologize, guys, for these disconnects. It normally seems to happen after a couple of hours on the stream. For maybe it's the software. I apologize once again. I needed another 50p in the meter. Tink. Okay, and now we should be all right for a few moments. Did Andrew pay for his medals? But this idea that you have care staff, and care staff just posted a badge link on Discord. Okay, thanks very much for that, QA library. But the idea that you have care staff having to pay for a badge so they can have the same rights as others on in the stores. Who issues these badges, and how did they come up with the price of £8 or £9 for these badges? We have a badge for NHS workers. Hancock Baso launched one for H and SC staff too. It was based to deflect from the fact that they don't have PPE. Deflected from that and gave a badge. So we're not going to give you something to protect your life, but we'll give you a badge instead. What you need is a backup gerbil, just in case, or a cat. No, then the cat would eat the gerbil and the hamster, so that wouldn't be a good idea. Here we go again. Apologies, guys. I want to go back to what's happening in the United States at the moment. Maybe it will also be easier on the stream, perhaps, I don't know, but let's see. Thank you everyone for your patience with these disconnects and stream changes and everything. It seems to happen quite a lot recently. So just some of the updates regarding the coronavirus in the US. Back to the US for a moment. So the White House coronavirus briefing has begun. Hooray! We'll hear from Donald Trump. South Dakota governor announced clinical trial. Okay, so there's this miracle drug that Donald Trump has been promoting. So we're going to see if there's a trial taking place for it. Washington governor, Trump is fomenting domestic rebellion and spreading lies. California nears 1,000 coronavirus deaths. Senator Kamala Harris, Trump abandoned the role of president. Biden accused Trump of leaving America vulnerable to coronavirus. Thank you very much, Glasgow Kiss. Thank you for posting that link. Have you deleted your Twitter or something? Just checked your Twitter. No, William, I've been suspended from Twitter because I said some rude words about Boris Johnson. I'm not going to go into details about it again, but I did talk about. I think I explained it on the channel community page. If you go there, I explained it. But I said some bad things about Boris, and I got kicked off. I'm suspended, so I don't know if my account has been completely eliminated. I'm still able to view things, which could mean that maybe I could get back on, but I don't know at the moment. I don't want to believe in conspiracy theories, but I think the US has been taken over. Dr. Fauci grimaced as Fox News host asked if COVID-19 might just disappear. Why would a news channel ask this? Because I think Anthony, I think there's an agenda to make this thing disappear in the media, and then the public will think it has disappeared. Because if the narrative in the media is something else, many people would think probably that it has disappeared and Donald Trump has been victorious. If the narrative is always this thing is disappearing or it's gone or we've dealt with it, even though it hasn't really taken place, then Donald Trump, it supports Donald Trump's position to get re-elected in November. I think his goal at the moment is to suppress it as much as possible, and then if it explodes again after November, he doesn't care because he's back in the White House. So it's every attempt is to return to normal as soon as possible, so that he can get his ratings back up. He can get the unemployment figures down again. Because he knows that these issues are going to affect his re-election. If the unemployment figures are high, it's going to affect him. Whether it's his fault or not, it doesn't really matter. The economy is weak. It's bad for the president who's in power. Max, you are a rebel. Yeah, so I have how can you say? Sometimes I don't know when to shut up. That's my problem. That remark this morning, live arguing over TV versus Twitter, when Governor Cuomo told Trump he should stop watching TV, get up and get out of bed and get to work, felt like the emperor wears no clothes moment. You need somebody to tell Trump to go F off, and I think Cuomo is someone to do that. Did you get a badge for being banned from Twitter? I should actually frame my tweet and put it on the wall. I still stand by it. It was a joke, but I turned out to be, I was proven correctly. All about cementing power. We all thought it was about Boris, but we didn't say it out loud, unlike Max. We all thought it about Boris, yes. Here's the badge for Max being kicked off Twitter. There's a plan for... the drug is undergoing testing. The group getting the higher dose started to get Arimineta. I can't pronounce that, of course. And several died. Oh my God. The group was taken off testing, and only the ones with the lower dose continue. See, this is the thing, is some people... I can imagine the scenario. So you imagine the scenario. Donald Trump is like, do we have anything that's remotely working? And they say, well, we have this drug that's been tested and we had some results. Okay, that one's working. And then he jumps up, goes on to on stage at his platform, touching everything, of course, and then he says, yeah, this drug is working. That's the way he operates. So his scientists should not tell him the truth. or at least they should say to him, they need to be prepared on how he will react. They have to treat him like a child, like a 5-year-old. You don't tell a 5-year-old nuanced information. You don't give them nuanced information. You have to give them very clear information. Yes or no, black or white, true or false. That's all Donald Trump can understand. Because if you give him anything in between, he'll run with it, or he'll treat it as fact. That's a bad plan of Trump's, because we'll have another explosion of the virus again. I think he believes that if the numbers don't increase between now and November, then he'll be okay. But I don't. It's too short. It's too long of a time for it not to return. And there's no real nationwide lockdown taking place. Imagine it like Europe. If Italy is locked down but Austria isn't. England is locked down but Scotland isn't. It's probably the opposite. But you know what I mean. If one country is locked down and the other isn't, you're going to have an overflow. You're going to have infected people moving between one state and the other. And the same in the US. You have one state that is under lockdown, the other isn't. You have one state that is carrying out aggressive testing, the other isn't. So any type of protections you put in place in your state could be completely negated in another state. And nationwide, you're going to have numbers popping up all over. A mankini badge. You need a big wall for all those badges. Did you see what happened at Westminster Bridge last night? I saw some pictures. I don't know if they were from Westminster Bridge last night, but maybe you can tell me, because what I saw was not what you had seen. You know when DT Donald Trump is lying? Well, all the time, but accordion hands. Yes. You should look at the video. According to Trump, Trump promoted the drug as he has indirect shares in the company. Oh, that makes perfect sense then. Could you imagine Fox News if Obama was president now and messed up 5%? They would be asking for him to resign. They would be asking for his head, for sure. If Obama had messed up even 1% of what Donald Trump has done. People expect a vaccine today, not realizing how much it takes to test and the positive alternatives if the possible alternatives, if they rush it. Normally it takes 3 to 5 years to get a drug approved. Yeah, the European Union has said at least a year before you have the drug. And then, of course, you have to test it, you have to manufacture it, you have to distribute it, and then you have to have a program of immunization. And it's not something you can do in a year or 2 years. It takes a lot longer than that. And many people online are like, why don't we just have a vaccine? Why don't we have a vaccine? We should spend more money. But it's not about money. It's you can't just throw money at the problem. Scotland is using mobile phone signals to see if people are staying at home. And we are for the vast majority. What do you think about that, Killer? Do you think it's an invasion of privacy that they are using the mobile phone mask to see if people are staying at home? Because in a way it is, it's maybe it's a cost that we have to pay, but of course some people might have a problem with that. Wash down with Corona seems to be working. Feel great and hungry, and really rarely hungry. Trump's shares in that company are worth about $400. This is misleading. He's being led by stupidity, not by stupidity or not corruption. I think the money could be an issue, but I'm more on the side that he's desperate for something that he can use to distract, to fix the problem, as he would see it as fixing the problem. We need to fix this problem. Okay, a drug. We'll try this. We'll try that, but nothing that would actually harm the economy, because he knows, he's been told, if the economy is poor, if the economy is in decline, if it's in recession, you're not going to get re-elected. No president has been re-elected during a deep recession, and he needs to be re-elected. He'll do anything he can. Maybe this call to arms is an attempt to seek re-election. So I just want to read some of the comments on this live feed. It says here, we're working with states to unlock the full potential for them to conduct up to 1 million tests a month, says Dr. Deborah Briggs. Experts are advising laboratories and assessing what their needs and shortages are. So 1 million tests a month doesn't sound all that. It sounds quite a lot, but actually for the United States it doesn't sound a great deal. You know, if you consider that Germany has been conducting 100,000 tests a day, and Germany, of course, is a much smaller country. So, not really an invasion. It's only the signal that tracks to see if there's a problem area, not sticking to the rules of essential shopping. Okay. Isn't that the reason people are burning phone towers? No, I think people are burning the phone towers because they think 5G is causing coronavirus. Okay. Dr. Anthony Fauci made the point that it's a reasonable assumption that someone has developed antibodies for the virus. They've had the infection and are protected, but scientists aren't sure how long the antibody protection lasts. Yeah, so this is an issue that it's a hope, and the Conservative Boris Johnson's government seems to be pinning a lot of hope on antibodies, so that people who would get infected would develop antibodies and they wouldn't need a vaccine, or you'd be able to take some of their antibodies and distribute it to others as a form of cure. But there isn't a lot of evidence to support that this would actually work. It works in some cases, and of course, how long do these antibodies last? Because as soon as the virus has been defeated, I think the body readjusts itself, and maybe these antibodies are eventually lost. I don't know. Of course, I'm not an expert on this, so anything I'm saying is just idle speculation. Harvesting data isn't a privacy issue if it's anonymized. How can you have an issue with them seeing GPS says 100 personally unidentified people? Yeah, so then that makes it clear. That's clear. It's not an issue. People being reinfected are not necessarily being infected with the same strain, but with the amount of infections, the possibility of mutation are increasing. Could be more than 2 strains soon. But you're fine with government conducting census if not one can be identified as the individual. I don't see the privacy issue here. No, I think I agree. It was just a passing interest I had on that. But if it was just, I know people would jump to the conclusion, oh, they're checking my phone. Okay, are they looking at my phone history? Are they looking at what websites I look at? And how long I spend on those websites? Calendars, for example. Dobbs on Fox has called for war on China. I reckon they should send his head in a box to the Chinese embassy. I didn't want to go down this road, but it was a fear, and I didn't want to be one of these conspiracy theory people. But it does look like some people would like to have war with China. Donald Trump has been pointing the finger, China, China, China. China's the problem. China's hiding the numbers. Maybe they are hiding some numbers of dead and infected. China is it started in China. It's the Chinese virus, whatever, and it serves a purpose for his base. Blame someone else. The Chinese are to blame. Now we need to beat the drum. I don't know whether the US would go to war with China over this, but it depends on how this virus continues in the US, how much it damages the economy and how many people die from it. Because people will want a scapegoat. I need to reread a paper, but I remember correctly, the blood plasma can last between 8 to 30 days. Thanks for that info. If you want a promising antiviral remdesivir, seems a better choice. What are China nuke capabilities? I'm not sure. Double guitars. I think they're quite considerable. But because of that type of weapon, you don't need a huge number. USA versus China war would be the end of the world. Pretty much, yes. But don't worry, we have a stable genius in charge in the US, so that's not going to happen. In South Korea, a growing number of recovered patients appear to be relapsing. Korean authorities reported that 163 patients have tested positive for the virus after making a full recovery. We need to be humble and modest that we don't know everything about COVID-19. Probably the greatest phrase uttered so far. We need to be humble and modest that we don't know everything. So many people have been spouting that they know everything. So many people have been spouting about how it's going to be fixed, how the economy is going to open again, how we're going to fight it, how long it's going to last. And finally, we have some words of wisdom from somebody who actually knows what he's talking about. Something I find funny here is that there's always fact check. Every time Trump says something, it's necessary to fact check it. So Trump says he'll be willing. So thanks to someone had already mentioned in the chat, Trump says he'll be sending out 19 billion in relief to farmers, and in addition to the 28 billion in bailout money sent to farmers to offset the impacts of his administration's tariffs on imports. I'm not sure in what way are the farmers suffering at the moment. Is they can't hire people, maybe, or they had to lay off people, or they can't sell some goods, perhaps. I'm not sure. So this is from NBC News. Sorry, just go back to the stream again for the chat for a moment. The US rely on China for rare earth minerals. The military can't use what they do today. Yes, the idea that you can just, and again related to Brexit, yeah, we're going to cut ourselves off from the world. It doesn't work like that. You need certain materials. You need to import certain goods and services because you can't produce them in your own country. And no amount of rhetoric is going to change that. China has the fourth... oops, I missed the comment. Let's scroll back up for a moment. China is the fourth biggest number of warheads behind the USA, Russia, and a long way behind even France. Humble and honest are in short supply. Yes, unfortunately. War is good for the US economy. Is there an American Republican president who hasn't gone to war? I'm trying to think back. Nixon, yes. Who came after Nixon was I forget his name, but he was still in Vietnam at the time. Reagan, well, he had some smaller wars. Bush, of course, H.W. Bush. W. Bush, George W. Bush, of course. Hello, Paul. Welcome to the stream. And Donald Trump is missing a war. Maybe the biggest one of them all. Farming is in meltdown. Can't sell milk, for example. Price collapsed 80%, and thousands of liters are being poured down the drain. It's just one example. Why can they not sell? Is there no demand? Surely there's demand for this milk, because supermarkets have not closed. Gerald Ford, thank you very much, William. Ford, yes. I guess you could, yeah. It's not even Republicans; it's all presidents. Clinton was with Bosnia. Obama with Libya. Gerald Ford did not start wars. That was half a century ago. He didn't start the war, but he was he did conduct it. Although it was towards the end. To be fair to him, he was against the war. Well, as far as I remember. There are viruses that have no active antibodies against them. We are immune against if vaccinated, like hepatitis B. Apparently the immune system has cell memory and produces just-in-time antibodies. Nuclear war is not good for the economy. Any economy. No, I agree. Ugetsu. Smash the like button again. Yes. Although I need to go off the stream maybe in another 5 minutes. I'll leave the stream up for when I leave. I'll leave the stream up, of course. Even Nixon didn't start Vietnam, although he had something to do with the bombing of Cambodia, of course. Not enough storage capacity for Milk Max because all the cafes, restaurants, schools have closed. There is surplus now. That's the reason. Thanks for that, Drew. I didn't... Because I was thinking just of supermarkets. I wasn't actually thinking of all the bars and restaurants, of course. Did Jimmy Carter not have a war? Well, there was the crisis in Iran, but that wouldn't be really considered a war. Hello, Kevin. Welcome. Hope you're well. Stay home, yes. Stay home and stay safe. I'm beginning to long for the ASNV to take over. They'd do a hell of a better job than our current leaders, wouldn't they? Have you seen the UK has flown in thousands of Romanian pickers? Yes, this was... So this, I think a few Brexiteers had a meltdown over this. So what happened was the farmers couldn't find people to work in their farms to pick fruit. So a number of Romanian workers were flown in. Now, I didn't know there were flights available, but they were brought in somehow. And they're going to work in the fields. Now, where were all the Brexiteers? The people who said we don't need these people, the ones who are saying we need to hire only British people, that there are millions of British people unemployed, hundreds of thousands of British people unemployed, we should be hiring them to do these jobs. And nobody, either nobody turned up, or probably more likely is nobody wanted to do the work. It's probably not very well paid, or it was a type of work that, you know, required a lot of back-breaking effort that many people wouldn't want to do. But where were all the Brexiteers? That's what I don't understand. The people who are saying that we need to take back our country, we need to send these types of people away because we don't need them, because they're stealing our jobs. Yes, but 36,000 Brits applied to pick fruit. Eventually only 30 were hired because the rest dropped out or weren't able to do it. You can imagine the scenario. So I'm not picking on British people here, but I can imagine some Brexiteer would arrive. Yeah, I heard that you need someone to pick strawberries. Okay, can you tell me about the job? Well, okay, you need to pick strawberries. Okay, how many hours do I need to work? You need to work about maybe about 10 hours. 10 hours? Oh no, and I'll do 2 hours. Okay, we need somebody for 10 hours. Minimum 8 hours. Okay, well, how much are you going to pay me? You're going to pay me like £20 an hour? Like, no, we'll pay you minimum wage. Oh, what is minimum wage? Actually, we pay you below minimum wage because it's seasonal work, or we don't have to give you a contract. And of course, they were like, no, I'm not doing this. But that's what they voted for. Farmers hired private jets to bring them in. Private jets. Dad was off on one tonight, saying people should be made to work in the fields to get any social security. Not entirely sure making people do slave labor to receive protection is ideal. No, it does seem to have some leave a bad taste in some people's mouths. You know, there's the whole thing of, you know, some people are saying we should take people out of prison and get them to do the work. I pay a good pay good money for a video of Sargon print picking fruit in a fields old King Brexiteer Sargon of Akkad with a Romanian foreman telling him what to do. That would be interesting to see. Ireland flew a load of strawberry pickers from Romania as well. Couldn't get anyone to. This is the fact of life, that people don't want to do it. You know, and I include myself. I wouldn't like the work. My very first job, many moons ago, I worked in a bread factory. I did it for 3 months. And I couldn't take it anymore. It was extremely boring, but it was also backbreaking. I had to weigh up ingredients in a bread factory and then put it in large number of containers, continuously doing this, and then carry these containers to a trolley and send these trolleys up to the production. You're learning a bit of my history here. And he did it for 3 months, and it was, I remember, on Sundays from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. was one of the shifts. And I was paid, I'm trying to remember now, it was, I don't know if you're interested in this or not, but you're going to hear about it. I remember I was paid £2 an hour. So I'm trying to compare that with euro. It'd be probably about €3 an hour today. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe about £3 sterling an hour at the time. I checked, an unskilled worker has an average of £2.70 a day. Brexiteers will be mad when they're offered that. £2.70 an hour a day? No, I'm not sure what you mean. £2.70 a day? That's slavery if that's the case. To be able to do it, you really need to sleep on site. It's just not viable for Brits. It's seasonal and you have to get there. It's like here in the south of Italy, you have a lot of immigrants from North Africa and Central Africa picking strawberries, tomatoes. And it's very, very hard work. Now Farage hasn't got a job as an AP. Maybe he could do it. Nigel Farage and Jacob Rees-Mogg were not seen picking strawberries today. I wonder why. That would be, I think, that would be something to see. A YouTube video of Nigel Farage and Jacob Rees-Mogg beaten with a stick in order to pick faster. It's backbreaking work I used to pick carrots in a field many moons ago. Carrots are worse because at least strawberries are somewhat above the ground. Carrots are below the ground, so you have my sympathies, Luby Lou. No, it started well before that, and it went into full during the Carter admin, and perceived humiliation to the US was a major reason for his defeat. When the 1997 Labour government brought in the minimum wage, a lot of people got 100 to 500% pay rise. Lots of security people in the City of London were on £1 an hour. Dry your fannies. Sorry, that was from the last stream. Dry your fannies. Concepts like aptitude, skill, enthusiasm, work aims, suitability, even qualifications rarely feature everywhere. Anywhere in Brexit thinking when it comes to employment economic strategies, no. It's what is their way of thinking regarding work strategies? I don't want immigrants to do it because I don't want immigrants near my home. So I want other British people to do the work, but not me. I want to be on universal credit because it's comfortable for me to be on that. But I want other people to be forced into the fields, for example, but not me. Because I voted for Brexit. I voted for other people to be forced onto the field. We used to do seasonal picking in Norfolk as kids in summer. You just did as many hours as you like and were paid on punnets picked. I'm not against that. I'm teenagers or young people, students doing these jobs, because it makes you appreciate education. You do it for a while and you say, okay, I don't want to be doing this for the rest of my life or for even a few years. And you say, okay, I need to get into university or I need to study something to get something better. I feel like picking your dream team for fruit, veg picking is a real choice. Your fighter territory. So a 5-team strawberry pickers would be Boris, Nigel Farage, Nick Ferrari, Jacob Rees-Mogg, and Nigel Farage. No, sorry, I said Nigel Farage. What's her name? Priti Patel. It's close to the end. Oh, guys, it's quite late here, so I'll need to end the stream tonight again. So it was a fantastic stream. Thank you so much for everyone. Thank you so much to everyone who's come on the stream. Thanks to everyone for your kind donations. Thanks again to Glasgow Kiss for posting all those links. Thanks to everyone for all your contributions. It's been great. So apologies once again for the gerbils and the hamsters due to their protests. Blue Penguin, it's on. Jenny, try your fannies. So have a great night, guys. Stay safe. Remember social distancing. Always wear a mask if you're out in public, of course. And Pretty Patel would mess up the numbers on the fruit packs. She picked, of course. So have a great one, guys. Thanks and take care. And I'll see you next Tuesday for the next live stream, if all goes well.